Thank you for joining us today on the 1211 Experience.
Mhm.
Award-winning actress, songwriter, Dr. Dawnn Lewis. Welcome to the 1211 Experience.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you.
All right, so let's jump into it. You've had an amazing career that spanned over nearly 4 decades, film, television.
Actually, longer than that. Well, on
Wow.
television, yes. On
Okay.
television, yes. In life, much longer. Almost
Wow.
my whole
Do you,
life. Yeah.
what's your secret to longevity in the business? How do you stay so relevant and active?
Um, Honestly, grace of God.
Okay.
Grace of God. Um, I love what I do. I think the Lord has deposited a certain talent in me and a certain desire to always want to do not only well, but to do better and to learn and to grow and to expand and to explore all the things that excite me creatively, all the things that interest me creatively. And probably the best thing you can do to motivate me is to tell me that I can't do something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or this isn't for you. I was like, okay, what I've discovered within myself is this well of, no, it's for me. You just don't want me. And that's okay. Because I understand there's a lot of people to select from. But
Mhm.
the reason I don't get this job won't be because I can't do it. It because you've decided to hire somebody else. Um,
Wow.
so that's become necessary for me. And I honestly believe that that's a key ingredient that anyone should really possess who really wants to have a career in the entertainment industry. It's got to be one of the most self-motivating, self-starting industries that you can get into because you constantly have to be responsible for reinventing yourself,
Mhm.
marketing yourself, presenting yourself, selling yourself. You know, most people, they go through their careers and they can retire from the same job that they've been at for 20 something years. You may have 5 things on your resume.
Mhm.
A working performer has 5 things every week. You got something else on your commercial, print ad, voiceover, dancing gig, singing gig, whatever it is. Our gigs start and they end. That's
Yes.
just the nature of the business. We don't get to do things for 20 years unless you're on Grey's Anatomy or Bonanza or Law and Order or one of those shows.
Right.
Other than that, no, the gig starts, the gig ends. So your resume is always being updated. You're always trying to convince people why me, why now, and get them to see you in ways other than they choose to see you.
Okay. Okay. Now, you've had success in television, film, more recently, Broadway has been a part of your life throughout the years as
Mhm.
well. You were a part of the more recent Tina Turner play, of
Right, the
course.
Tina Turner musical, right?
What has been more challenging, in your opinion, stage or television set?
They each present different challenges. They're different muscles. They're different mindsets. TV, you get to prepare, you get to present, and then you can
Mhm.
toss it away because now it's on film, it's captured. You don't have to worry about it anymore unless you have to do ADR. And for
Mhm.
those who don't know, it's additional dialogue recording, where now you're back into the studio to re-record the vocals of what you shot months ago, and you're sitting
Right.
there trying to match your own lips, and you'd be amazed at how hard that is to repeat your own rhythm, your own tone of voice, all of that. But when it comes to theater, it's 8 shows a week, nonstop, get up and go, and you got to keep it moving. And it's not something that you can say, okay, cut, stop, let's take it back. It's like,
It's
no,
live.
no, you've got to get it. And it's not just you, but everybody around you on the stage and in the crew, working lights, working sound, all things have to work together, and it has to work in the moment. So they're
Wow.
just different muscles. 8 shows a week is no joke.
Not at all. I couldn't do half as
Broadway,
one.
no, 8 shows a week is no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. So people who show up and say, well, I could do a Broadway show, and I could do that dance number, and I could sing that song. And yeah, you may be able to sing it once in a microphone with a lot of reverb and some pitch control, but you're on stage and you not only have to belt that out now, but you've got to do it again in 4 hours. You're doing it for the matinee, but now you got to do it for the evening show and then come back and do it again tomorrow.
So much respect for you guys. I
Thank
swear,
you.
I swear. Let's take it back a minute. You were born in New York, which at one point, well, it still is today, is either New York or Los Angeles as the hubs, the go-to spots to make it in the industry. Right. With all that competition, early 80s or the time you were coming up, how did you stand out from the plethora of people trying to get noticed? How did you stand out?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I honestly don't know, except I showed up with me, all of me, who I am, brown-skinned girl, tall. In New York, I'm not considered tall. In Los Angeles, in Hollywood, I'm considered tall. In New York, I was average height. Wow. But you get here and everybody's so petite and so tiny, and you feel like you're in Amazon standing next to a lot of these people. And it's like, wait a minute. When I was coming up, our one example of, well, our couple of examples for this is a gorgeous Black woman was Nichelle Nichols on Star Trek, and Nichelle had curves, okay? And Bernadette Stannis on Good Times, Thelma, curves, okay? Yeah. So when you come here and all the girls are this tiny and, small and looking like, very soft and sensitive men, it's like, wait a minute, wait, stop. This is not where I was in, but that's the reality when you come into this venue. So no, when I came up, it was just all about, do you have the talents? Are you someone that people want to work with? And that was me. And hopefully that's what people got, whether I was on stage in the recording studio, on camera, whatever it was. I just wanted to be somebody that I wanted to be around, and hopefully other people wanted to be around that person too. And you show up and you actually have skills. I think that those combinations make a difference. And definitely the shoulders we stand on make a huge difference. Because there were those brown skinned sisters before me, it made me possible. Because when I came up, particularly when I was doing A Different World, I didn't see people like me on television at that time. And even when I was auditioning, I was the brownest skinned person in the room. I was the curviest person in the room. I had brown eyes. People had hazel eyes, green eyes, and size 2 with long hair and fair. And I recognized them from Broadway, from commercials, from magazines. I was the only person in the room I didn't recognize. I was like, okay. But you know what? I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this audition, and then I'm going to go to dance class.
There you go. And you made it work.
Dance class and turn around, and I'm who they ended up selecting. So grace God again, because there are millions of talented people out there. How do you just get to this select few? It's like being in the NBA, the NFL, any selective sport, being Serena or Venus or Rafael Nadal. You get to a place where there's something about the combination of who you are that sets you apart. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. We've seen you in memorable roles over the years. For Grey's Anatomy, I'm going to Get You Sucker, obviously Different World. You've done Ella Fitzgerald, and one of my favorite projects, Stomping Out Somewhere. I love that project. So many different projects. You actually wrote the theme song to A Different World. How did your song, first of all, how did that come about? And how did your song get selected?
Before television, I never thought about doing television. I had done a pilot when I was in college for a show called The Crummy Movie Show, where the premise was kind of like Saturday Night Live comedy store, where the movie was so bad. You stayed up late to watch a movie and the movie was so bad that you flipped the channels. And all of our sketches were what were on the other channels. So it was commercials, it was like segments of TV shows. So we did all these crazy characters, etc. But that show never got picked up. They ran it as a Halloween special for 2 years in a row, but the series never got picked up. I graduated from college, University of Miami, came to New York, And while I was in college, I was lead singer in a band. I worked college work study. I, unbeknownst to me, went there and developed a new degree program, the musical theater degree program, which didn't exist before me. So I'm the first graduate and founder of the musical theater degree program at the University of Miami, because I went in singing opera. I was going to be an opera singer and a cellist and sing and dance on Broadway. That was my goal. So I graduated from college. I'm doing shows off and on Broadway. I'm singing in sessions, doing jingles, etc., and released a single. It was charting on Billboard. I won the Apollo. I used to sing for Harlem Week. So I was committed to being a recording artist. That's what I wanted to do. And so I wrote all of my own original songs, etc. And so the musical director of the Cosby Show, he had my demo tape. Remember cassettes?
Yes.
He had my demo tape for more than a year. So he called me up and said, "Are you the person that wrote these songs? They list you singing." I was like, "Yeah," because remember you put your phone number on your cassette and all of that. You don't do that today because strange folk will start calling you. But so he called me and said, "Would you be interested in working with me on the theme song for this new show?" I was like, "Yeah."
Right.
And he says, "Okay, this was on a Wednesday." He said, "I'll see you in the studio on Friday and we'll record it." And I said, "Well, don't you want to meet beforehand to hear what I wrote?" And he said, "No, if you're the same person singing and who wrote these songs, I think you can do what I need done. This is the premise of the show. I'm going to send over some music this afternoon. This is the kind of vibe of the music that we're thinking of. Let me see what you come up with." That's how that happened. So there was no selection, put it in the pot and him choose one. Again, grace of God. Because when he called me, the casting directors had called me just an hour before, because I had been begging them for about 3 months, "Please let me audition for this show." I was doing a Broadway tour for them at the time. They said, "Nope, we love what you're doing in the show. Keep singing, keep dancing. You stay right where you are." The tour ended. And I said, "Please let me audition." 3 months, I begged. 3 months, I was on unemployment, down to my last unemployment check. And they called me back and said, "If you're still interested, can you come in tomorrow?" Which would have been Thursday. I said, "Yeah, sure." An hour later, the musical director called me. "Can you write this theme song?" Now I thought it was my friends playing a trick on me, because they knew I didn't have no money. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. And so I called the casting director back and said, "Did you just call me?" They said, "Yes. Is there a problem?" I said, "Oh, no. And a couple of hours later, the messenger rang my doorbell, handed me another cassette. And I got to writing. I got to writing my story. I got to writing my journey. Now, my parents have been divorced since I was 7. So I didn't have the Huxtable upbringing with both parents setting the example of this is how you succeed in life. But I did have a mother.
Yeah.
Single mom raising me and my 3 brothers. I did have a grandmother. I did have teachers in my life. Yes, I did. I did have teachers in my life who helped me see the creativity in me, who helped me like me and dare to be me. So that was what I wrote. Those words meant the world to me, because I left for college at 16. 16 years old, I graduated high school and started college. Went from New York City to Miami, Florida on my own. My grandmother also lived in Miami, about half an hour away from the campus. So as much as your parents annoy you, as much as the sound of their voice starts to, because that was part of the reason why I left. I said, one of us are not going to leave this house alive between me and you, Mom. Okay, I love you, but I don't think you like me. So I needed that space. So I went away, and then before you know it, everything that your mother said that irritated the hell out of you is now you find yourself doing it. You're picking up your clothes. You're doing all of these things. And you're like, oh, okay. So what she said made sense. And you start to realize all the things that have been deposited in you that help you take that next step forward, even when you're not sure what step it is to take. There are things within you that urge you on. And that's what I wrote. That was what I wrote. Was I know my parents love me. They stand beside me, come what may. I know I'm ready, because I heard him say, it's a different, where you're going. I was 16. leaving the state, going thousands of miles away. It's a different world, Dawn.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. So that was
That's your
what I wrote.
testimony.
That's my testimony. That's my testimony. And
Man.
so I went and saw an attorney on Thursday. I went to my audition. They said, thank you. Don't call us, we'll call you. And I left. And I knew that this was going to be a big deal. So if I knew one thing, it was copyright. Like I said, as a songwriter, as a performer, I knew I needed a contract. I knew I didn't want to step into this world just on my own. So I went into the yellow pages and I started looking up attorneys and such. I said, but you don't have any money. Then I remembered one of the textbooks that I had in school was called This Business of Music. Opened it up. Wow. It was written by two attorneys that lived in New York City, Andy Feynman and Bill Krasilovsky. They had an office in Manhattan. I called them.
That is so wise of you at that age. That's insane.
I said, you don't know me, but I just graduated from college. I studied your book and I need some help. Do you have a paralegal? Do you have a secretary? Do you have somebody that can help guide me through what I need to do? They said, can you come in tomorrow? All of this happened Wednesday. Once I got these phone calls, can you come in tomorrow? Tell us, what you need and we'll see what we can do. Great. I left my audition. Don't call us, we'll call you. I went to their office. I explained to them what was going on. They said, we'd be happy to represent you. I said, okay, no, you must have missed the part where I said, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I can't pay you. Can I talk to your doorman or somebody who's been eavesdropping or going through your trash who can tell me a few things? They said, no, we'd be happy to help you because we're impressed that as young as you are, you want to do this well and you want to do it the right way. And we will not charge you a dime.
Insane.
We will not charge you a dime. All we ask is that when you get the opportunity, you be willing to pay it forward. I'd never heard that phrase before, but I learned that it meant help people as you have been helped. And I sat in their office and I cried, but they negotiated my deal for me. And it was the deal of a lifetime, make sure I was credited at 50% songwriter. I wrote the melody and the lyrics. And Mr. Gardner, he was the musical director. He got the other 50%. And then he came back with, well, Mr. Cosby gets 50% of everything that I do. And so it should be 33 and a third. And my attorney said, no, Mr. Cosby can have 50% of your 50%.
Exactly.
But Dawnn Lewis is getting 50%. Or take it or leave it. And she gets screen credit. I mean, I was so protected. And I'm so grateful because it ended up being necessary to remind people, no, I have a contract, because people try to take advantage and circumvent. But like I said,
younger people,
especially younger people, or when you're made to feel as though you should be grateful for this opportunity. And this opportunity gives us the right to take advantage of you, to treat you any way we want to treat you. And that's not the case. And all too often, we're just afraid to say anything. We don't have those advocates who stand in the gap with us to make sure that we are treated equibly and that we are considered. And like I said, grace of God, I'm so grateful that the Lord led me to where I needed to be to have that for me. And it's been a blessing. What is this, 36 years later?
Oh my God. Yes.
People are doing all kind of versions of that song. I can't tell you how that humbles me and blesses me, to see different people take that theme song and make it theirs. Different colleges use it as a recruitment tool to get people to come to their school. They shoot their own version of our opening titles using that music to encourage people to come to their school. Dance routines, little kids learning all the words. I mean, they weren't even born in the same decade as when we did our show. And it's very, very humbling. I'm really appreciative, but that's how the theme song happened.
Wow. Now, you basically answered this question that you started singing. Singing was like your path prior to acting. Is that still your first love today? Or is it kind of like,
the loves have kind of shifted over the years. I really miss doing more music. I miss being in the studio more often. I miss composing. But just to be totally transparent with the way things have unfolded over the last several years, through the pandemic, through isolation from March to March of 20 to March 21. I lost 25 people that were very, very close to me.
Wow.
I felt not creative. I felt unmotivated. There was not a song in me that wasn't a tear. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, I was doing enough pain management, wallowing in my own heart and in my own spirit for the loss of so many souls, so many people that meant so much to me. So for the last several years, that just hasn't come forth. I do sing, I still do concerts from time to time, but that flow, it's changed for me. So mostly I compose for different movies. I have songs on soundtracks for other recording artists, and I'm working on getting more back into it. A lot of my musician friends are like, okay, Dawnn, it's time to stop. You got to stop. All right, come on back. We need you in the studio. So I'm actually working on developing a TV project that is heavily music involved. So I'll get to do both, compose and perform.
That's the both worlds.
Yep.
Fantastic. So it's 2023, and we've seen you as the Starfleet captain playing Captain Carol Freeman in Star Trek Lower Decks, which is in
I got my Lower Decks
season.
red on.
Okay. Now, how did that project come up? And secondly, were you a Trekkie growing up as well?
Oh my God. You see, the first reference I made was Nichelle Nichols.
Yes,
right?
she did.
Okay. Yes, absolutely a Trekkie from the first season that the first episode ever came on. I loved the world. I grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and I went to public school where we had some of everybody in public school: white, Black, Asian, Latino, Haitian. We had some of everybody in our school. And when I looked at Star Trek, there was everybody. That was the world that I was accustomed to. But you hear on the news about Dr. King and Malcolm X and civil rights, and you're watching people of color being attacked and hosed down and bitten by dogs and beaten by the people who were supposed to protect you. But in this world, in this Star Trek world, everybody was different. Everybody was excellent. Everybody was valued. And the whole purpose of the show was to go deeper into the galaxy to find other people to include and to protect and to preserve their culture, preserve their way of life. Our goal is not to interfere. Our goal is to augment and support you in what your particular journey is, wherever you are in your life. That was amazing to me.
Yeah.
That was mind-blowing to me. So every Star Trek machination since then, Deep Space Nine, Discovery is on now. And Shaniqua, as the cat, please. That young lady is a badass for sure. Okay. But now, and then during the course of everything, I get to meet Nichelle Nichols, and not only meet her, but we get to become friends. She hangs in my house, I hang at her house, at parties, I mean, all kinds of events together. And it was mind-blowing to me because she was one of the first, her and Diane Carroll on Julia, that I saw in a regular role, in a regular acting role, not singing or dancing, but being a human being of excellence, of courage, of integrity. And I wanted to be that. I mean, there were, of course, other examples for the music end, you know, everybody from Dionne Warwick to Ella Fitzgerald, you know, it just went on and on. Nancy Wilson, all of these people, Gladys Knight. I mean, all of these people were inspirations to me, all of whom I've gotten to meet and cherish in my life. So when I got the call, I do about, I don't know, a couple of dozen different animated programs and movies and such. So when I got the call to audition for this new science fiction cartoon, we weren't told what it was. So for me, it was just another audition for what could possibly be the next gig. And I think they actually had all of us as animals. I think I was Captain McDuck. or something in the script. So I audition, I do my best impersonation of Avery Brooks and William
Avery
Shatner.
Brooks.
Avery Brooks. Avery Brooks was the captain on one of the starships. Yes, the first black man.
I remember.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
Okay, so I did a combination of Avery Brooks. He had the cool swagger as the captain, and then James T. Kirk, who just took himself way too seriously all the time. So I did a smash up of the two of them, and that was my version of Captain McDuck. So when I got called to get the job, they had to sign in a non-disclosure agreement. That's when they told me that it was for the new Star Trek animated series. I went through the roof. I called my brothers and said, you will never guess what, because I never call people. This is what I'm doing. Come and check me out. I'm learning to do that now with social media. But I called my brothers because all four of us, we could recite line for line every Star Trek episode. We knew the fight scenes. We knew all of it. I called them and said, you will never guess the gig that I got. They're like, so what? You got a job, whatever. You always working. I said, no, you don't understand. I have the job. And I'm the captain, okay? They were floored. The next call I made was to Nichelle. I said, Nichelle, you will not believe what just happened to me. And I told her, because I'd always wanted to be on a Star Trek show. I'd always wanted to be an alien. I wanted to be a Klingon, Romulan, something with prosthetics, so people wouldn't call me Jaleesa. I wanted prosthetics, and I wanted the banging body armor and go around and kick somebody's behind. That's what I wanted to do. But I never got that opportunity. But she was so happy for me. And it's been a blast ever since. It has been an absolute blast ever since. So we just finished recording season 4. Season 4. Season 3 is on now. Season 4 usually drops around the spring, summer. That was when our seasons usually start. And so, grace of God, there'll be a season 5. We'll see.
There you go.
We'll see. But right now we got 4 going. Amen.
All right. Gotta hit on Different World. We're gonna hit that really quickly. You guys celebrate the 35th anniversary of A Different World. I just want to say thank you for being a part of such an iconic show. Out of all your projects, this one obviously stands out for so many, resonates with so many people. For me, I did not attend the HBCU, but you guys gave us perspective that for many of us that didn't, you showed us the pride, the culture, just the joy of, having that experience. Your character played one that was non-traditional, who had a life before, life began. You were married and divorced.
Right.
Do you get hit up by people saying how much they appreciate for sharing their story on screen? Do people who may have gone through similar situations express, how much they appreciate your character?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What was interesting on the show was, yes, I played Jaleesa Vincent, ended up being Jaleesa Vincent Taylor, a woman who did not go directly into college from high school. Right. She married her high school sweetheart. It didn't work out. And she's like, okay, I'm not done. I'm not done with me yet. Right. Making that choice for women in this day and age, it's gotten better. But back then, you're talking, and we're actually in our 36th year. That was 1987. We're in 2023. So it's 36 years ago. That wasn't common. Like you and I are maybe around the same age. Our parents were the first generation to even consider divorce, regardless of what was going on.
And be okay with it.
And be okay with it. Right. It wasn't a thing that you did. You just stayed married. You had the kids. You knew there was a family across town. You knew there were girlfriends. You knew whatever, but you didn't leave. There was different kinds of emotional, physical, mental, financial abuse, but you didn't leave. You didn't claim you. So we watched our parents, our mothers, our fathers do this and do their very best to be the best that they could for their kids. Yeah. And they raised us. Don't be the best for your kid. Don't be the best for someone else. Be the best for yourself. Wow. So Jaleesa is in that vein, in that generation of claiming, you know what? I heard it. I remember it. I know my mama loves me. stands beside me, I'm ready, because I heard her say, I'm worth it, and claim herself and go back to school. What was interesting for me was playing the older person, even though I was younger than like half of the cast. I was just taller than everybody.
Wow.
The Amazon walking. Like, okay. But so people assume one thing, you know, and it took almost like 14 years for me to be, no, that's her age. That's not my age. I'll get there soon enough. Trust me, you know, Lord willing, but no. But yes, people come up to me. One, my character name has made the Guinness World Book of Records a number of times as the most popular TV name to name a child. It's
I can
Jaleesa.
see that.
It's a beautiful name, absolutely beautiful name.
Does it mean anything special?
Well, I don't know that it means anything, but it was actually the name of Mr. Cosby's best friend, Walt Hazard. His wife's name is Jaleesa. And Walt used to play basketball for UCLA. And Jaleesa is his wife. And I met her maybe about a month or so after I got here to California. I'd never heard that name before. I think it is an incredibly beautiful name. And it matches her completely, because she's just an absolutely beautiful, grounded, what you see is what you get kind of person. She's just an absolute joy to be around. So the name became popular. And the thought of, you know what, I'm not done with me yet, and I'm worth it, started, you know, more and more people would come and share their stories about how I went back to school because of you, or I started a business that I was afraid to start because of your character. All those things are just absolute blessings. And like you, I didn't go to an HBCU either. Like I said, I went to the University of Miami.
I went to Iowa.
Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, when I went to school, I wasn't told what an HBCU was by our counselors. I wasn't told about what they were, the specialness of it, the environment of it. They knew that I was singing opera. So they guided me toward conservatories that focused on music. So it was Oberlin, Berkeley, Cal Arts, North Carolina School of the Arts, University of Miami. That was where I was directed. So honestly, it wasn't until, and I'd seen the commercials, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, with some gorgeous African-American person's face on it. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Black people should educate themselves. But I never put two and two together until I did A Different World. So it was a learning experience for me, and for many people in the cast as well. It was an entertaining daily history lesson into who we are and the capabilities that we possess.
And I saw in all the characters, I have friends who match every character. We had a Whitley, we had a, you know, it was some of everyone there. There
was something for everybody on that show, even our seasoned citizens, our Mr. Gaineses.
Gosh.
Our seasoned citizens who still have it in them to share, to be a griot, to be a story keeper, to be a mentor, a parent figure who are in these schools. We have the cafeteria workers with our kids, Mr. Gaines. You have the supervisors, you have the superintendents. On Abbott Elementary, you have the superintendent who's there.
Yes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Love that. Now, you received your honorary doctorate in humanities for 30 plus years of supporting underserved youth from what the organization that gave that to you, please?
Next Dimension University. It's a theological college here in Southern California.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
So what brought you to the point of saying, hey, you know, I've had this level of success. Why is it important for you to give back? I love the phrase for financially, it's called FIT, where you want to make sure that teams are financially and technology informed. Why is that so important for you?
Well, it didn't start with television. It actually started when I was in elementary school. I had been bullied a lot. And like I told you, I had that village around me of my teachers who helped me see within myself. So they were my haven. So when I graduated from elementary school, was in junior high, I went back to my elementary school and spent time in the teacher's lounge telling them this is what junior high is like, and this
Right.
and that, and I'm doing this. I wanted to keep them abreast because they were a
Okay.
part of how I even got out of elementary school. I would do concerts. I would come back and do Christmas carols in the teacher's lounge. And I was always singing. And so they said, well, would you come and say hi to the kids in the class? So I would go to the class and say, I used to sit right there and listen to the teacher, pay attention. If you're a bully, stop bullying. If you're being bullied, tell Mrs. Ames, tell Mrs. Fogler, because they will straighten it out because they saved my life. They would ask me questions. What is junior high school like? I would tell them. And that was my habit. When I went to high school of music and art of fame in New York City, I would go back to my junior high. I would go back to the elementary and tell stories, visit my teachers, give them progress reports. When I went to college, I came back, high school, junior high, elementary, give them the update. I graduate college. Now I'm doing off Broadway. I've got a record out. I'm performing. Next thing you know, I'm on a TV series. Okay. When I get a break, I do what I've always done. I came back to high school. But this time, when I walked into the lobby of music and art, the kids lost their minds. Like, oh God, it's Jaleesa. And I got swarmed in the lobby. They had to send the security guards to come and get me, took me to the principal's office, made an announcement on the loudspeaker. We need you to go back to your classes. Okay, this is a hazard. Miss Lewis will come and see you, but we need you to clear the halls and go back to your classes. Now, it put 2 and 2 together for me because in a performing arts high school, I was living everybody's dream.
Yeah.
What I was doing now was everyone's dream. So they added a few hours to the school day for me literally to go to every single classroom, tell them about what I was doing, answer their questions about what it is to work professionally in the entertainment industry, be on TV. And remind you, in that environment, half the school was already working. They were doing commercials, they were playing in bands. I mean, the students that came out of music and art, agents, it was amazing. But that was my day. And that was when I put 2 and 2 together to pay it forward.
Yes.
That's when it clicked for me, that this wasn't about what made me feel good, that I actually had something to offer to other people of value. Whatever it is that I could, I wanted to share it because that's how I got through. So I just started doing it. I would tour colleges and corporations doing motivational speaking, keynote speaking, all of those things. And about 8 years ago, I wanted to do a speaking tour nationally, not just on my own dime, but with support. Because going around the country, the one thing that I noticed was how lacking the resources were for students of color in underserved communities. We were behind in our understanding of finances. We were behind in our understanding of what keeps us marketable and successful in the business world. So I wanted to do this, and the corporations that I had been supporting all these years, they said, Dawnn, we would love to give you money, but we can't just give you money. You have to be a nonprofit so that we can, through our core corporation, support you. So that was when I formally founded the A New Day Foundation, based on my name, Dawnn, A New Day. But also our mission is to help young people see that where you were yesterday is not where you have to be today, nor where you can end up tomorrow. So we want to be your new day of opportunity toward your best self. So that's what we've been doing. In the 6 years of the foundation, we've given away close to $200,000 in scholarships and brand new computers. We do programs throughout the year, every quarter. We call them experiences. For teen girls, they're called Sisters Hangout. And for teen boys, it's called Mentors, but it's spelled MEN, capital TORS, which stands for Men Talking of Relevant Situations. And we expose them to different career and cultural opportunities that they don't normally get access to. And then annually, we host on a different college campus every year our Focused and Fit, FIT, which is what you were referring to, financially and technologically informed. So it's Focused and Fit for a Different World, where we give them day-long workshops in financial literacy and technology, in wellness, in skill set management, activation sets, skill sets that they can use to apply the information that we're giving them to get the best result. And then we have them compete for scholarships. It's for high school juniors and seniors and their parents. So that whole family goes home informed. and
Oh,
college
wow.
freshmen and sophomores.
Mhm.
That 4-year demographic on your way into college and having just arrived. So we also give out scholarships anywhere from 6 to 12 of $2,000 each, and a brand
Mhm.
new computer. And
All
all of the
right.
programs are offered free of charge. So every dime that we raise, corporate, private, $5 to $50,000, all goes to fund those programs. So those young people, once we invite them, all you have to do is show up. We give you
Oh,
your
wow.
supplies, your materials, entry, access, we feed you. We have safe space conversations where the kids get to talk about what's actually happening in their lives, because
Mhm.
depression is real, isolation is
Yeah.
real. And too often you feel like you're the only one going through what you're going through. But in these
Yeah.
sessions, you learn that there are others. You are not by yourself. And we can do what we can to support you, not just up here, but in here.
I love that. Lastly, what projects do you have that's on the are immediately coming up that you want everybody to know about? I know we have the Star Trek, of course,
Yes.
the animated series. Mhm.
Well, another animated series that I love doing is called Karma's World. It was
Yeah.
executive produced and created by Ludacris, right? So we've been
Ah,
doing that for the last few years. So I think season 3 is
yeah.
airing now, and I play Mrs. Washington, a seasoned
Wow.
citizen myself. Oh my goodness, what is going on in this community? I love Mrs. Washington, so I do
Mhm.
that. I've been doing The Simpsons for about 8, 9 years. I mean, the list goes on. So I'm really, really grateful for the spectrum of the different
Mhm.
characters I get to play through my vocal abilities. I'm doing a
Awesome.
play called "The Change Is Going to Come" here in
Okay.
Los Angeles. This is going to be a special performance, an anniversary performance. The play was originally done 20 years ago, written and directed by Dawnn Welch.
Okay.
It is starring myself, Dorian Wilson, and Kenny Lattimore.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll be March, what's Saturday? The 11th. March
Okay.
11th here in Los Angeles at the Wilshire Ebell Theater. I am, as I mentioned, working on selling a TV series that I have created that features me and will give me the opportunity to sing as well as compose again and
Awesome.
surround myself with other amazingly talented actors and composers and writers and directors. I'm really excited about that. This past
Okay.
Christmas, we did a movie called Blackjack Christmas that is still on
Okay.
BET Plus. It was written and directed by Victoria Rowell,
Mhm.
starring myself and Miss Charmin Lee, about two sisters who are from Jamaica. One gets to leave the country, one stays. I played a sister that stays in Jamaica, Miss Corrine, and we don't exactly get along too well. And in the movie, it happens to take place around Christmas, but it is an all year button heads coming to terms with family and the complications of family and the diaspora, and how even within us as colored people of color,
Mhm.
we tend to draw lines between each other. Who's the pretty one? Who's got the nice hair? Who's got, all of those kinds of things. And addiction.
Mhm.
It deals with addiction. And this past season, I got added to season 3 of Young Rock, Dwayne Johnson's show.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so they added me to that cast this year. So if there are any Dwayne
Booked and
Johnson
busy.
Young Rock fans out there, yeah, you've been watching me all season 3. Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank
Flowers to
you
you.
so much.
Keep doing what you're doing. How can your fans stay in touch with you?
Well, I am on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. On Facebook, it's the Dawnn Lewis official fan page. On
Okay.
Instagram and Twitter, it's Dawnn, DAWNN_Lewis, LEWIS. And then again, there's the foundation, the A New Day Foundation, which is www.anewdayfoundation.net. And if any of you are so inclined to donate to support our programs, I will thank you in advance. And like I said, there is no donation too small, no donation too large. It is all incredibly appreciated, and it all builds a resource for us to be able to assist others. And that's here in California, across the country. We have supported and worked with schools as far away as Costa Rica, as far as India and Guyana, South America, where my family is from. We go where the need is. So I'm really, really grateful. I'm really grateful. One thing I didn't mention, you were talking about music, was 2 years ago, 2021, I was inducted into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. I was in
just
there.
Another feather in your hat.
Thank you. But no, the honor for me was when they told me who else I was being inducted alongside. Naomi Judd, Valerie Simpson of Ashford and Simpson, Roberta Flack, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Bunny Ho, what? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And very humbling. Yes.
Congratulations on all of your success. Well deserved.
Thank you. Grace of God.
Continued blessings, and thank you so much. I'm so humbled to be in your presence. Continued success to you.
I sincerely appreciate that. And truth be told, you're part of that success. You being who you are, having this platform and utilizing it to elevate others. And
of course,
things like that is what helps keep people like me relevant, that you see me, that you care. And I sincerely appreciate that and wish you and your show nothing but success. Thank you.